Hashem's Vasai Tiftach Upi Akitzva Sacha. We're now in the 9th Perek of Shoftim, and in this Perek, we're introduced to Avimelech. Avimelech, who is the son Ben Yerubbaal, not Gidon. We call him Yerubbaal. A hint, a vague reminder of the amazing father that he had. Now he goes to his mother's brothers in Shechem, and he speaks to them and to the whole family of his mother. And again, there's some level of distancing, right, that's going on here, but you only feel it because, first of all, why Shechem? So we know Shechem is the source of so much pain to Klal Yisrael. We had Dinah with the rape. We have the Achai Yosef, the brothers of Yosef, and it has a continuously negative place. So what does he say? He starts to put this question to all the citizens of Shechem. What's better for you, to be ruled by all 70 sons of Yerubbaal, or only to be ruled by one? And remember who I am. I'm from you guys. Atzmechem ubesarchem ani. I'm your flesh and blood. Where else did we have somebody who said something like that? Yes, Lavan. Lavan the Rasha, Lavan Bereshis. He also said about Atzmechem ubesarchem. And what is highlighted by the words flesh and blood is that we know from the Gemara that the bones of a person are passed down from their father, and the flesh of a person is added by their mother. And so really he's highlighting, I am one of you. And his mother's brothers all said to the people of Shechem, he's our achinuhu, he is our brother. And so what happens is they give him 70 shekel, and with that he hires some mercenaries, anashim reikim upochazim, reikim, so really worthless people. Now remember that jar that the army of Gidon had. That was an empty jar that we said highlighted that you've got to fill your jar with Torah and mitzvos and chesed. These people, not so much. They're very reckless, and they follow him. And what happens is they go to his father's house in Ophrah, and they kill his brothers. Achav, Bnei Yerubbaal, there were 70 of them, all of them, except for one, Yotam, which is kind of the same thing as a Yotam, which is an orphan. Yatom. And so what happens is he goes into hiding and he survives. What's interesting is that it says that he kills 70 shiv'im ish al even achas with one stone, but not really, because it's not 70 if one guy runs away. So why is it 70? So essentially what it is that all of them, all their lives, including his own, is changed with this one stone. And when all Yisrael are Arevim Zelazeh, then are connected, then it's for the positive. Otherwise, here, he's literally killing out everybody together, including himself. And all the people of Shechem and all Beis Milo, they all get together and they proclaim Avimelech as their king in Shechem. And it was told to Yotam, and he stands on Har Gerizim. Remember, Har Gerizim, there's Har Gerizim and Har Eval. These are important mountains. And he stands on Har Gerizim and he screams out, listen to me. And he tells a story. Once upon a time, the trees came to anoint a king. And they said to the olive tree, reign over us, be our king. But the olive tree said, no, I really can't do that because I'm very busy right now. I have to give kavod to Elokim and to Anashim, to Hashem and to people. And so I can't stop giving my oil that does that. So why should I go and help out the trees? And so again, there's some level of just detachment. The trees need you. That's what you're doing? He's like, no, I'm just too busy. I can't be helpful to you right now. Where did we hear that before? Oh yeah, remember in Sukkos and Penuel? But let's keep going. Then the tree said to the fig tree, please be a king, rule over us. And he's like, no, I'm so sorry. I'm busy with my sweetness, my delicious fruit. I can't be helping you. Well, that doesn't feel very good. Until then they go to the vine and they ask the Geffen, will you reign over us? And the vine said, I'm so sorry, but I have to say, I have to be helpful to my tirosh, my wine. I'm just too important. I'm too important. My wine is very essential to society and to Hashem. And so everyone is involved in their own stuff. They're not involved with this population. They're not saying, oh, wait, you need something? How can I help you? But rather, my life is just really important. My kavod is really important. Who I am and what I'm all about is just so important. So sorry. Why should I go and help you and reign over the trees? Not interested. And then, as a result, we couldn't get the best mention. We couldn't get the really good guys to be in politics. So instead, what do? They go to the thorn bush. Clearly not something that has blossomed and bloomed and provided any level of sustenance or pleasure. But they ask him because they're just in need. They need help. They want someone to help them and to lead them. And so instead, what do? The thorn bush says, listen, you guys are better than me, right? If that's really what you want for me to be anointed as your king, sure, come into my shade. Oh yeah. But if not, a fire is going to come out from the thorn bush and it's going to, and it's going to consume all of the trees of Lebanon, the strong cedar trees. Now, if you think that you did a good job in having Avimelech as your king, okay, but I can just tell you right now, not a good idea. My father, he fought for you. He saved you. He saved you from Midian. He risked his life. And what did you do? You provided him with the money that ultimately killed his sons, all of them. And you set up Avimelech the killer as the king over Shechem, which is not even allowed. And just because you know him, because he was originally from Shechem, you're so territorial, that's where your loyalty is. It's not to Am Yisrael, but just to your, oh yes, we only take care of our own, and we're only going to appoint our own. Haven't you learned anything? That is not honorable. And had you done honorably and loyalty to your Baal and his house, then that would have been great. You would have had joy. But now, you're not going to have any joy. And there's going to be a fire that comes from Abimelech, and it is going to burn all of you. Because you played with fire, now you're going to get burned. And with that, he runs away. He runs to Be'er, and he stays there because he's afraid of his brother. And Abimelech is there for 3 years. And finally, what happens, like with everything, one day the people of Shechem, they wake up and they realize, you know what? Why are we loyal to this guy? He's not a good leader. He's not benefiting us. We don't want him anymore. And not only that, you know what? I think that maybe we made a mistake because I think he really did wrong to Gideon. Yeah, Gideon who dedicated and sacrificed his life, and we allowed for all of his kids to kill and to be killed like that. I think that maybe we did something wrong, and we really have to do tshuva for it. And so they tried very hard to have ambushes on the hilltops, and they robbed whoever passed by, so that they would take. This is the one time in many, many years that there is vayigzelu es kol asher ya'abor aleihem baderech. They were actually stealing from people on the road. Now, it reached Avimelech. You can't do that. You can't be taking law into your own hands. He's the leader. And he hears about that. And then Gal, the son of Ebed, and all of his people are coming through Shechem, and they start to like him better. So now they have someone who they're going to perhaps try to make into a new leader. Look how fickle that is. In 2 minutes, they're able to switch over their loyalty and their allegiance. And they go into the field, and they make for themselves a festival. And once again, they Vayavo Beis Eloheim. They go into the temple of their gods, and they eat and they drink. Vayikalu es Abimelech, and they curse Abimelech. So they're cursing. Now, a curse, according to Chazal, a curse doesn't come true unless it is coupled with an Aveira. So as long as Abimelech is doing Aveiros, then the klalas, the curses, can actually come true. Now, Gal, the son of Ebed, says, who is Abimelech? Who are these Shlem people? Why should we serve them? This is, there's no reason for that to be. Why should we serve him? Why should we help Zavul and serve him, his helper, his lieutenant? What are we doing? So if you guys were in my command, he says, I would get rid of Abimelech. We don't need him. So he tries to goad and the people into overthrowing what they have. Vayishma Zavul, and Zavul hears that. He hears what Gal, the son of Ebed, said, and he quickly tells Abimelech. He said, oh my goodness, look what's happening there. Yeah, this guy named Gal, he's inciting everybody against you. V'ata kum laila, ata, get out quickly, go to the fields, and early next morning, go onto the city with your troops, because you have to do everything that you can. And so that's what he does. Abimelech and all of his troops, they set it at night against Shem in 4 different places. And Gal stands at the entrance at Abimelech, and there's truly a war between people, Jewish people. We have a very difficult situation. And Gal sees the troops, and he says to Zvul, oh look, the troops are coming. But the Zvul says, wait, no, it looks like it is, but it's not really. It must be like Ataro Eka Anashim. It must be like people. And Gal speaks up, no, the troops are coming down from Tabor Erez, and there's from one place and other place. And Zvul says, well, okay, who is Abimelech that we should serve him? Go out and fight. And Gal goes and he tries to get into a battle with Abimelech. But before he has a chance to flee, Abimelech comes, and many, many people are killed all the way to the entrance. And Abimelech stays in Aroma, and Zvul takes everybody, Gal and all of his people, to try to keep them out of Shem, and they go into a battle. And this battle is ultimately, Abimelech has a lot of troops. He divides them into 3. We know that, we had that from before. They lay ambush, they try to strike people down, and they are working really hard to be successful. And ultimately, Abimelech fights with the city, and he captures the city, and he does something that, again, Jewish people don't do. He kills the city by Yazareha Melach, and he sows it with salt. He burns it to the point where they will never be able to plant. And we said Jewish people don't do that. You don't take land and make it and take away all of its capability to have benefit. That's baltashlis. Anyway, we have 2 things that happen. So first of all, Abimelech finds all the people in the Tower of Shem, and he burns, because that's where they go, and he takes it, and he finds out that they're all gathered there, and he takes strong tree limbs, and they bring them, and they set a fire to a tunnel, and all the people of the Tower of Shem all die, 1,000 men and women. Migdal Shem ke'elef ish v'isha. So that's the first thing. We have a little bit of a hint of that experience. We know with what happened with Gidon, but Gidon did it in to set the plan into motion that you cannot go against your Jewish brethren. And here, once again, same exact thing. So first we have the tower that's on fire. First we have that he burns the people in the city. Now he has the Tower of Shem that he has made on fire. He sets a fire to a tunnel, and all the people of the Tower of Shem burn. So now Avimelech goes to Tevetz. And within Tevetz was a tower where, again, all the men and the women, that's where they go. That's where they found refuge. And they shut themselves in. They go to the roof of the tower. What does he do? He presses, Avimelech comes to the tower. He takes the door, sets it on fire. But this time, while he's setting it on fire, a woman drops a stone on his head and he cracks his skull. One would think that would kill him, but for some reason it doesn't. And again, to the last moment, he is all about his kavod, all about his respect. And he says to his little arms bearer, he says, please, shalof charbecha umatznini, please kill me. You take your dagger and kill me, because I don't want to say, panyam ruli, isha hargusu, that a woman killed me. Now, this is the second woman in a very short while that has killed a major general. And so that's exactly what this little Na'ar does, and he dies, and everyone goes home. That's the end. Now, he got Midah Keneged Midah. He was a horrible person and killed all 69 people. I guess maybe including himself, maybe it was 68. No, it would be 69. Or 68, depending on how you interpret it. But number one is, he had not a very coveted death. But you see, everyone just goes home. And there's this level of everyone goes home we have before. People are just unaffected. So there's a war. There is a civil war. There's a lot of fighting going on. There's been a disaster that is now over. And people, again, they just go home. Where is the internalization of the message? Not so clear that they're getting it. And that's why it keeps on repeating itself. But Hashem repays Avimelech exactly for what he did. What did he do? He for what he killed, and also the people of Shem. What did they do? Because they went against their brothers, and they didn't learn their lesson. And Yotam, his curse got fulfilled. And we said, why did it get fulfilled? It got fulfilled because the people were bad. Had the people not been bad, then a curse like this would not have affected them at all. And so what we see, again, is this level of Hashem sending almost the same exact messages again and again and again. And our job is to internalize them. The job of the people in Shoftim is definitely to try to internalize the messages, but they're very hard. And so Hashem sends exactly, a similar type of message because you didn't internalize it. Well, bad news, that probably means that we're going to have to go through this cycle again until maybe we can learn a little bit more and internalize a little bit more and grow a little bit more. Number one is Hashem was not ready to send kings, and so don't try to do that. That's not going to work in your favor. But there's this underlying message of just love your brother. Just take care of your brother. Do not kill people. Do not hurt them. Do not antagonize them. Be kind to people. Help people. That very important message of how to walk b'halachta b'drachav, how to walk in the ways of Hashem. Hashem is clearly giving them a message, but it's a highlighted message for us. Look what happens when there's internal strife, when people are doing things for kavod and for all the wrong reasons, and ultimately it leads to some pretty horrific things. So let's see what happens in the next parak.